Hey, I just wanted to share something really beautiful that happened yesterday with you guys. I don't normally do this, but this was incredibly impactful, and it is something that someone really may need to hear, and it's something that's benefited me quite a bit. First of all, I want to show you something. This is a plant that I have, and it's related to this, what I'm about to say. It's one of our favorite plants in the house. It's actually an avocado tree. But this one is growing. As you can see the avocado seed there. We grew it from seed. And it's getting a little leggy now. It's getting to be pretty big. And we're gonna take this and we're gonna plant it in our new home. But it's really important in what I have to say because yesterday I was riding the bus with Marcella, and it was a woman that came up to us and she got on the bus and she says, "Are you guys religious?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "I was like, we're spiritual," and she was like, "Oh, I could tell. I could really feel your presence when I got on the bus." And so we started talking. She sat down, and she was telling us how she had had some bad days and was learning to give God the glory even in the middle of the bad days. And I said, "Yeah, that's exactly right." And I said, "In fact, what we call bad and good is usually just a matter of perspective." And I told her, when you consider like if you were to look down on the ground and find $100, you'd be like, "Oh my God, I just found $100. This is great." But you always fail to realize that someone had to lose it in order for you to find it. So the $100 is neutral, but you finding a good day is a great thing. Someone losing the $100, or you finding the $100 is a great thing, but someone losing the $100, not so great. But if you learn that God always has your best in mind, that He's always doing something to make things better for you and to bring you joy, it's a great balancing perspective to have. And then as I was explaining that, a lot of people actually in the bus were looking back with like interest. And so the woman got off the bus, and then a young guy came, and he was like, "Excuse me, I don't want to disrespect your family or disrespect your time." He's like, "But can you pray for me?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "I normally don't pray for people," and he went on to tell me that he had lost his kids and he was just experiencing a really hard time trying to get his life together. He looked kind of rough. And so I was like, okay. And I was like, well, in all of these things, do you want to be happy? Is that one of the things that you want, to get your kids back and have a place for them? And I was like, do you want to experience joy as well? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, if you get all these things back, will you experience joy? And I was like, because it really matters. This joy thing matters because life gives you more of the way that you feel. And I explained to him, I was like, have you ever noticed when you're having a bad day, you get up in the morning and you feel bad or you had something bad happen, and then all of a sudden, like you stub your toe, and then the day just gets progressively worse. And I said, if you start out with joy, your day will get progressively better because life gives you more of what you already have, or how you already feel. And so he was like, okay. And so I was like, if you get all these things that you want, will you feel joy? Will you feel better? And he was like, yes. And I was like, do you feel joy or do you feel better right now? And he was like, no, I don't. And I asked, can you feel joy? And he was like, I can't. And so I said, okay, let's work through this. I think you'll be able to find some joy because there's a lot here. And so I asked him, I was like, this feeling that you have, you came to me, you said you're determined to get your family back, you're determined to get your kids back, you're determined to turn your life around. I was like, where did this determination come from? I was like, it's apparent that 3 months ago it wasn't there. You say that you want to do all these things, but I don't think you're really paying attention to the fact that the thing that you want is already manifesting. God is already, you're asking me to pray for you, but God is already answering your prayer because He's building within you the desire to do the very thing that you want done. And I was like, that is a part of God answering the prayer. Can't you recognize that the feeling that you feel in the middle of your chest, the burning desire to change your life, if things get hard, can't you see that feeling carrying you through the hardship? And I was like, can't you see God's hand in that? Can't you see that you're actually a different person right now from who you were a couple of months ago? That the person who you are right now would have never lost his children? and he began to brighten up, and he could see it. And I began to explain to him how, life will and may get hard, but that feeling within him, as long as he can focus on it, he can actually find joy and experience joy, because he knows that God is actually there in the middle of that feeling with him. And God has already made the transformation in him that he seeks to find. And as long as he can do that, things will get easier for him. And it's funny because you could watch his face change, and he began to see what I was saying and actually find joy right there in the middle of his situation. And he almost was brought near to tears. And I mean, I just want to tell you that, like, the feeling of hope and the feeling of the desire to be more, to do more, to do better, to grow, to become spiritually deeper, to become more patient, more loving. That is a manifestation from God itself. And that is always the beginning, just like the seed of this avocado tree. It is the seed itself. But without the seed, no avocado tree could ever come. And if you water the seed and give attention and gratefulness, if you learn how to be grateful for that feeling, which is what I told him, if you learn how to be grateful for God moving in that way in his life, it's like watering a seed. And over time, it will grow into an oak or into an avocado, which will give you lots of avocados and make your life beautiful. And I was like, we all start from somewhere, but we all start from the same seed. And those who are wise water their seeds, and they're grateful for their seeds. They don't just toss them out because they're not a full tree. And so I want to share that with you guys too. Like, if you had a dream of something and you really feel strongly about your dream, you feel that dream intensifying, be grateful for that dream, because it is the seed of something great in your life. Water it and be grateful for it. All right, peace.